All right, guys, today I want to talk to you quickly about the costs of my double jaw surgery experience. This was actually a suggestion that somebody commented on a previous video and thought, hey, that's a pretty cool video to make. Let me let you guys know how much it cost me to do this. So let's go ahead and get into it really quickly here. So on my numbers, guys, I didn't go into my bank statements and look at everything I paid for, but I'm going to give you some rough numbers that I remember from all this stuff. And it's not all going to apply to you, but you can get a general idea of this basically. So what you're looking at as far as if this is something you're looking to do. So the first thing I want to go over is time. That's the first investment that I made. I put a lot of time into researching everything, double jaw surgery itself. What are the different procedures? What are the different methods of doing it? Who are the doctors? Who are the best people and everything, right? Just start really deep diving into that world and learning as much as you can. Not just talking to your local orthodontist saying, oh, should I go down the street, right? No. Really learn yourself. Get as educated as possible about this. Learn about people's experiences. Reddit is a great resource, obviously. YouTube's a great resource here. Just really learn as much as you can. But also, I will point out that your surgeon does not need to be an internet celebrity to be a really good surgeon, because a lot of them are not Instagrammers. They're not media guys, right? They're just surgeons. So keep that in mind as well. They don't need to be pros on social media to be a pro in the surgeon field, right? In the operating room. So keep that in mind. So first thing I want to point out is time. The next thing is going to be your consultations. All right. I would say on total consultations, I would say I spent about $300 total. And the reason for that is because you got to get scans done and you got to talk to somebody about this, right? Well, they're not usually free. And usually you get scans and the consultation done at the same time. So that could be between $150 and $300. It just depends on the surgeon, depends on the circumstance. But I'm going to put $300 for that, because I also did scans locally here in my town that I can send over to. I ended up sending that to my surgeon, right? So he can review it without me having to physically go there. And then we get a digital consult. And so all that added up to about $300. And then eventually I went out there, right? But that's the first thing I would say. Consults, $300 is what I spent. The next is going to be flights. And I had 4 flights total. So I had my pre-op appointment, or my planning appointment, right? So that was about a $400 round trip. I'm going to say $450. So $450 round trip for my first flight out there to Houston, Texas. Now I flew from Vegas to Houston, Texas. And so for me, I did it at Dr. Alfie's office, so Alfie Oral Surgery. Sorry, guys, I'm all over the place today. My focus is a little off, so bear with me. So flights, $450. And then I did another flight, and I forgot how much that was for the round trip. I did a one-way. I think the total was about, I want to say another $400, maybe $300. So total about $700 for flights. And the reason why I say I don't remember, is because I didn't book a round trip ticket for the surgery itself. And the reason why was because I thought, well, what if something happens, or what if I want to stay longer because I'm not feeling well and I don't want to travel right away? Let me just book a one-way, and then I'll book the way home whenever I feel like it. And that's because you need to do a 1-week follow-up no matter what. So you got to do a 1-week follow-up. So no matter what, you have to be there for at least a week. So I figured, what's the point of booking a round trip ticket that I'm going to lock myself into a time frame? And so I didn't do that. So I left it open-ended. But I remember now the flights are pretty cheap. I think I did Frontier or Spirit or Southwest. Usually it's going to be between Vegas and there was about $400 both for the round trip total. So we're looking at between $700 and $800 total for flights between the pre-planning and the actual surgery. So I think we're at about $1,000 so far. The next was my Airbnb. So I chose to do Airbnb instead of a hotel, because hotels are actually a lot more expensive, especially in the area, the medical center I was at in Houston, Texas. It's pretty pricey, right? They're nice hotels, but they're not that nice to where it's that necessary. And plus, I like Airbnbs better anyways, typically. So my Airbnb was about $1,300, I believe, total, because I stayed for 2 weeks. I ended up staying 2 weeks because I had some complications. If you guys watched my recovery videos, you would see I filmed some of that part of my journey. And I did that. I kept extending my stay. I kept texting the Airbnb guy, hey, I need to stay longer. And that's because I just wasn't ready to go home. I just wasn't ready to travel yet. I wanted to stay. I wanted to be close to my surgeon in case there was any issues. You can get there right away. He can get to me, whatever. And that's what it was. So for me, it was about $1,300, $1,400 because I ended up staying 2 weeks total. So for you, if you end up doing this, it might not cost you that much because you don't need to stay that long, but that's what it was for me. The next is Ubers and transportation, deliveries, all that kind of stuff. I had a Whole Foods that was nearby, and I just paid them to deliver supplies, which was drinks. I did drinks and like whatever I wanted, right? Whatever I wanted to buy from there, I would just have them deliver it. And I'd say I'd spent probably on this, probably like $200 to $300, I'd say. Ubering here, Ubering there. Ubers are expensive in the United States, guys. I'm sure you all know that if you're here. Just going down the road, it's like $15, it's crazy. So that adds up pretty quickly, going there, going to the airports, they're pretty far. I think airport is $50 one way. So that's $100 right there. So easy $200, $300 I spent on Ubers and deliveries. The next is not a direct expense to surgery itself, but it's kind of health insurance. So my health insurance is usually like $2 a month. Now it's a very basic plan that doesn't cover anything. However, I had to have that insurance prior, and then I did a one-time upgrade thing, which is something I'll probably go over. I'll probably make a separate video all on my insurance strategy. So I can tell you guys what you could possibly do to get this covered by insurance. Now I am still in the claim process, so I can't say this is a 100% success yet, but I will make a video on that later on, especially if it works. And even if it doesn't work, I'm going to still tell you guys what happens so you know what not to do. Or we know what doesn't work. But anyway, my health insurance is about $200 something a month, $220. And then I did a one-time upgrade, which jumped it up to like $750 a month or $770 a month, which I had to pay at least 1 month worth. And that allowed me to then do something really big, like the surgery, and it should end up being covered, but I'm still in that process. So all in all, I would say I'm only going to cost myself like $700. I was paying for the insurance anyways. So the expense is about $700. I'd say actually the expense is probably just what the difference is. So about $560 or whatever, right? To make it up to the $770. All right. The next thing is going to be another set of consultations / strategy for the insurance. Now, this is something you should do probably anyways, because it's just, I'd say it's a necessary thing to do, and you want to get it on medical record, which is talking to a respiratory type of doctor where they can give you a at-home sleep study or even an in study where they can diagnose you with obstructive sleep apnea, because that's the main reason that I got double jaw surgery, right? Was the obstructive sleep apnea, which I had a moderate diagnosis, which is pretty crazy given I'm not overweight by any means. Like I'm not overweight at all, right? So it's all structure based. And that's why you want to have that, because that is a big indicator that you need double jaw surgery, and the insurance really can't get out of that because you have a diagnosis, right? So that's important. So that costs me, that's going to be about, I got some mega actually, the CPAP machine, which I got that from the same doctor. The insurance covers some of it, but not all of it. You want the CPAP also to show that you tried to resolve it before just jumping straight to double jaw surgery. That was about $350. And then with the doctor and the sleep studies, that was about, for me, I did multiple visits and multiple studies. That's going to be about, that was around $600. So plus the $300, that's almost another $1,000 that I ended up spending. So that's another $1,000 in other doctors besides the surgeon. Okay. Now I didn't have an orthodontist, so I had no ortho work, and I didn't really need any of that prior to surgery. So none of those expenses are I don't have any of that. The next one is the actual double jaw surgery itself. Now I am under an NDA, so I can't technically tell you the exact cost I spent, but I can tell you it was between $45,000 and $60,000. And that is going to be pretty standard in the United States. You're looking at between 40 and 60K. You're not going to really get around that. If you go international, I think I was looking at between 14K on the low end and 25K on the high end, right? So it kind of varies. Domestic in the United States, 40 to 60,000, you're not getting out of it. It's just what it is. And you don't want to cheap out on this, right? This isn't about finding the cheapest surgeon. This is about finding the best surgeon for your circumstances and who you feel comfortable with. And I don't know if I mentioned this already in the video, but I did. I went to Houston, Texas. I went to Alfie Oral Surgery, right, which is Dr. Alfie's office. And I did my surgery, Carrillo. Awesome guy. I love the guy, honestly. He's such a cool dude. He's so positive. He just feels great. Like, and he's very just superb. Like, office to me, because of Dr. Alfie's presence on social media, they got a brand to maintain. So they're not doing any janky surgeries over there. So yeah, not that you need to go there, but I'm just telling you that I had a great experience there. But you're going to end up spending the money, and it doesn't really matter where you go in the United States. You're going to end up spending the same amount of money. That's from my research, right? So 45 to 60K on surgery. Now, I did use something called Proceed Finance, which is a loan service to pay for your surgery up front, and then you just make monthly payments that are not bad at all. I think I did a 12-month or a 48-month thing, and it was really low interest. It's not that bad at all. Meanwhile, my insurance claim is being settled, then I'll just loan off. All right, next is medications and miscellaneous like supplies, which is about another $100. Crazy. It's like the mask that put on your face with the ice packs helps you feel better. And not one of those. The medications are like $50. All miscellaneous is $100. So now we get a grand total. The consults total with all doctor stuff, I want to say that was about $1,300. That's including the doctor, the CPAP, and then the CPAP itself. That's another $350. So let's go $1,600 there, and then flights. I'm going to go with $800. My Airbnb was $1,300. Was $250 with deliveries, and then health insurance. I'll just put like $550 on. Then my jaw surgery itself. Let's go and just put, in the middle, go 55,000-ish, and then just the miscellaneous, $100 more. So we're looking at just under 60,000, guys. That's the total output for this surgery with all in all, everything that you could say, we're looking at right under 60 grand in that range. And it is a range because I'm not giving out like the exact numbers I see in the surgery, but it's basically 60,000, call it that. So yeah, guys, I hope this was helpful to you to break down the costs of this. And you may end up spending more because you may end up flying somewhere to go see a surgeon and you end up not going forward with them because you don't like them or whatever, But with this, it's totally worth it. It's worth researching and really knowing that you're confident in moving forward with that person before just jumping into it, right? I don't recommend that. Because this is not a joke of a surgery. This is probably one of the most technical surgeries that you can do or get done. And you need a good person that really loves what they do and really understands your case and knows for sure they can help you and you feel comfortable. So yeah, hope this helps, guys. Give the video a thumbs up so it helps other people who are looking for this amazing surgery to learn more about it. And then also consider subscribing if you want to learn more information about my journey and also a bunch of health and wellness content, which is what my expertise is in. All right, thanks so much.